Hello, welcome to another episode of Black Ice 73. You know, for the last, Bubba Wallace, you're a NASCAR driver, you're a biracial man, but he black. So, down there in Butch, God, Butch, go to bed, man. Butch, go to bed. Butch, down in Alabama at a NASCAR track, he found a noose in his garage. Come here, Butch. Now, Butch. That dog is so hard headed. I think that dog poor cat. But he found a noose in his garage before where one of his people that work for him or work for his team found the noose in the garage. And they turned it into NASCAR. And they say it was a noose. But the FBI gonna come out and say, oh no, it's not a noose. But everybody else saying, including Bubba, including NASCAR. NASCAR deal with mess like this all the time. You know, garage, he'll open and he'll shut the garage. And they said it was a noose. People working in the garage said it was a noose. Then the FBI had the audacity to say, hey, this is from 2019. There ain't nothing to worry about. Come on, man. But we're going to listen to what Bubba had to say as he was on an interview with Don Lemon on CNN last night. So you got time to listen together.
Back with me tonight. Bubba, good evening to you. I think you've handled this like a champ, and I'm appreciative that you came to speak to us tonight because we first talked about the Confederate flag on this show and many other issues. So again, thank you. So much has happened just in the last few hours. A federal investigation shows that this wasn't a hate crime. Talk to me about what's going through your head. How are you feeling right now? I can't hear Bubba. Bubba, we lost your audio. There we go.
I'm sorry.
Talk to me about how you're feeling right now.
I'm pissed. I'm mad because people are trying to test my character and the person that I am and my integrity, and they're not stealing that away from me, but they're just trying to test that. And as a person, Don, that doesn't need the fame, doesn't need the hype, doesn't need the media, I could care less. I could give two craps about that. But to sit there and read, and that's my problem. I'm reading too much into it and investing too much time into it. I am.
Don't.
I know. I'm trying hard not to, and after tonight, I'll probably turn my phone off. Unfortunately, until about 7:30 in the morning, where the interviews start back up again, and we get to it all over. But Don, to hear my side of the story, and I don't mean to steal your spotlight of the show, but my side needs to be heard. I don't know what time it was, about 5:30, 6 o'clock on Sunday evening after the race has been called. Garages are closed. My crew is on a plane back to North Carolina. I was about to go out to dinner with a couple of fellow competitors, and we were talking about what time we were going to leave, where we were going, and I get a phone call from, I'm in my motorhome. I get a phone call from the president, Steve Phelps, and it's a phone call, Don, that I'll never forget. It's one of those phone calls where you can automatically tell within the first couple seconds that something's wrong. And it immediately made me think of, what did I do? What am I getting suspended for? Like, what did I say wrong in an interview? Whatever it was. And so I'm thinking all the bad things or whatever it could have been that I had done, whatever I said. So he's like, we need to talk in person. So I'm like, okay. So he walks down the motorhome, opens up the door, and the look that he had on his face alerted me, and I'll never forget as well. And it's still thinking like, okay, what did I do? Let me know. And now, mind you, I got to the racetrack at, I don't remember what time, 9:30, 10 o'clock, and slept all day just because that's all we were able to do, go straight to my motorhome. That's the only place where I'm allowed to go. I'm not allowed to be in the garage. But the conversation that I had with Steve Phelps was, I would say, and I'm speaking for him, I would probably say one of the hardest things, if not the hardest thing he's ever had to tell somebody. Tears rolling down his face, choked up on every word that he was trying to say, that the evidence that he had brought to me that a hate crime was committed, quote unquote. And I immediately thought my family was in danger. And so I was about ready to call my mom and dad and to make sure everybody was okay. But it was in the garage stall that our car was at. And so I was kind of like taken back and not really comprehending everything. I was just like, what? But the way that I was communicating, like Steve was communicating to me that everything was going on, it showed the testament to him and the character that he has and how he's representing the sport, how he wants to stand up for what's right. And he's not going to tolerate any racist acts or anything. And I stand behind Steve. I stand behind NASCAR. And like they said in their statements, if it happened again, they wouldn't change anything. They would do it all over again. Well, but I never seen the news. I never reported it. Like I said, I was going to dinner.
Let me jump in here, Bubba, because no one is accusing you of doing anything wrong. And the knuckleheads who are criticizing you, no, but you can't worry about that. Not anyone with any sense. And fair-minded people are not accusing you of doing anything wrong. You were simply reacting to what the head of NASCAR told you happened. Now, listen, this is how I feel about it, okay? And people can think what they want. Did NASCAR get it wrong? No, I shouldn't say that. Did they jump the gun? Maybe, yes. But I am extremely happy with and I think most Americans are, what NASCAR is doing. And I think in this environment, and I have said it before, this hypercharged environment, that we should all cut each other some slack, okay? Because if NASCAR hadn't done the right thing, if they didn't act the way they did, then people would be criticizing them for moving slowly. And so I think what they said was, we are investigating. And they investigated. And they found out that it wasn't a hate crime. So did they perhaps act quickly? Yes. Did they get it wrong? Somewhat. But I think that people will forgive them for this mistake because of the times that we're in. And so, I think that you have conducted yourself amazingly. So I don't think you should be worried about that. I think that you and NASCAR should pick up from here, go on and continue to do what you're doing. You have the support of all of your team members in NASCAR. And so look at this as something that happens when you are evolving and changing. Everything is not perfect. And I mean that about everyone. We're in such a hypercharged environment with the coronavirus, with racism, with watching people die on television, with seeing Confederate flags that were banned. Let's not forget, the people out there still feel a certain kind of way about you and about that flag. So I don't think that that you should feel badly about what happened.
No, I know. And I'm with you on that. I appreciate those words. And you talked about it earlier. The people don't want to hear the truth. And people that want to know me and want to get to know me, the new fans that have come into the sport, I appreciate it. One thing you'll never take away from me is how 100% I am, how raw I am, how real I am, and how I'll shoot it to you straight each and every time, because that's how I was brought up and that's what I stand by. And in my statement on Sunday night, this will not break me. None of the allegations of being a hoax will break me or tear me down. Will it piss me off? Absolutely. But that only fuels the competitive drive in me to shut everybody up, to get back out on the racetrack next weekend in Pocono and showcase what I can do behind the wheel under tremendous amounts of BS, whatever it is you want to say. You won't break me. You won't tear me down. Again, I will still stand proud of where I'm at.
You're going to continue to be out front, right?
That's it. That's all you got to do.
So I mentioned this when we talked about the flags, because the reports about a news came on the same day. And so this is why you can understand somewhat what happened. On the same day that we saw a Confederate flag flying over Talladega that said, defund NASCAR, people had flags on their trucks and on their cars, and they were, across the street, as I understand, from the race. Do you think the controversy over that flag issue affected the response to this incident?
We were worried about, as NASCAR was worried about, Talladega, being there and knowing we were allowing fans back, and some of the most passionate fans are down there. Talladega is one of the best racetracks to go to. It's we always tell new fans and family and friends that Talladega is one of the races you need to go to just because of the atmosphere there. I've always loved going to Talladega, but we had that one circled on the radar with everything going around. Let's just be extra careful. So absolutely, I think, that definitely intensified everything that went on. And unfortunate that everything played out the way it did, but there has some parallels to that for sure.
Have you seen ropes like that hanging from garages? Is that typical?
Don, the image that I have and I have seen of what was hanging in my garage is not a garage pool. I've been racing all my life. We've raced out of hundreds of garages that never had garage pools like that. So people that want to call it a garage pool and put out old videos and photos of knots being in their evidence, go ahead. But from the evidence that we have, that I have, it's a straight up noose. The FBI has stated it was a noose over and over again. NASCAR leadership has stated that it was a noose. I can confirm that. I actually got evidence of what was hanging in my garage, over my car, around my picker guys, to confirm that it was a noose, and never seen anything like it. It's not something I talked to my crew chief about. I said, is this something like, I wanted to make sure we weren't jumping the gun. And I said, this isn't a knot. This isn't just a regular old whatchamacallit. He's like, Bubba, this isn't something that can be done within a second of just tying a knot and being on the way. This is something that took time.
So what are you saying here? Are you saying that you don't believe? Do you believe that it was intended for you in that way? Or what are you saying here?
It was a noose. It was a noose that was whether tied in 2019 or whatever. It was a noose. So it wasn't directed at me, but somebody tied a noose. That's what I am saying. It is a noose.
Let me just read from NASCAR here. They said, we appreciate the FBI's quick and thorough investigation and are thankful to learn that this was not an intentional racist act against Bubba. We remain steadfast in our commitment to providing a welcoming and inclusive environment for all who love racing. What do you think about that? It seems like NASCAR has your back, but are you worried about the backlash?
You get backlash every day. I think we talked about that. Whatever, I'm used to it. But it stings a little bit worse when they're trying to test your character, like I said earlier, and try to take something away from me that's false. But the backlash will always be there. It doesn't matter if we provide 100% facts and evidence, photo evidence. People are going to Photoshop it to make me look like the bad person at the end of the day. I will always have haters. I will always have the motivators to go out there and want to be in sports. Just know that you will automatically become or be put on a pedestal, whether you like it or not. That's what happens when you have a voice and you have a platform. People are going to try to take that away from you with all their power. They will lose sleep over making sure you don't succeed. So you have to be strong. Always keep your head on a swivel, and always watch your back, but always stand up for what's right.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because I have felt this before as someone in the position is. Many times the only African American in the room and on the job, right? Do you feel like you're getting, I know that NASCAR, they say that they're supportive, but do you feel like you're out there on a ledge by yourself because you're the only one really speaking out? I haven't seen any representatives of NASCAR, not to be critical of them, on television or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I don't feel alone. I don't. I've had really good conversations with numerous amounts of drivers, Jimmy Johnson, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Ty Dillon. Ty and I, we actually were running. We weren't running together, but before the race on Monday, and we ended up chatting with each other about right versus wrong. Speaking up, standing up for what's right and what you feel is right in your heart. This isn't, like I said it before, this isn't about sponsorship. This isn't about race wins or who you represent. This is about what you feel in your heart. And I feel like there's a ton of support. We've seen everybody come together on Monday there. And that was one of the coolest things that I've ever been able to be a part of. Not saying that I wanted that, but drivers wanted to do that. They wanted to show support of me. And, now it kind of looks bad, but it doesn't, because within their hearts, they know that it is something that they want to stand up for.
Well, I wanted to say, I was going to put that up if you didn't mention it, because when I saw it last night, I was watching Anderson's show before mine, and I saw what they did, all of the crew rallying around you. And I can tell you that people who don't watch NASCAR, they all saw this. And it actually made me tear up. I mean, look at this moment.
Made you tear up. Did you see me?
Yeah, I saw.
Come on, Don.
You lost it. But I think this is warranted, even without what happened. I think this is, even with what happened today, I think it was warranted. Right. And I think people were happy to see it. And you're making a difference. I actually think NASCAR is making a difference, and I applaud you and them. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Any last words? You good? You said everything you want to say?
Yeah, I'm pissed, but I'm ready to go on a Pokemon. We'll be all right.
Good for you. Bubba, take care. Be safe. Stop reading social media. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You just heard Bubba talking to Don Lemon on CNN. And the thing is, out of all garages, you just have to be in Bubba's garage. And then the FBI said, it's been there since 2019. How do they know it's been there since 2019? And it happened to be in the only black driver garage hanging up. And people trying to accuse him, saying he just doing this because of the Black Lives Matter and because of he wear the shirt called I Can't Breathe. They said he just doing that trying to bring focus to the cause when he wasn't even there in the garage when the island was found. But as you heard in the interview, that NASCAR official called him. He ain't had nothing to do with it. He didn't know nothing about it till they told him about it. But you got a lot of diehard NASCAR fans who want to blame it on Bubba. And Bubba Wallace is the easiest person they can blame it on. But, and the sad part is, it took place in Alabama. Throughout this continent of North America, pretty sure everybody know the history of racism in Alabama. Probably the majority of them that seen when they had to use the National Guards, when they desegregated the school, they had to use the National Guard to let a little black child go inside the schools to stop people from harming her or her family. They seen videos of the aftermath of the bombing down in Montgomery, where 3 young black children lost their life through racism. They seen videos of the civil rights protests that took place in Alabama. CJ and Shanti. Y'all might don't hear about him. But then they seen the videos that when President President Obama now, they walked in Salem, Alabama, come off that bridge, and they called Bloody Sunday, the incident that took place where the police were beating on black people. They called it Bloody Sunday. Alabama, when I seen it, when I heard it, I was like, damn. Alabama gonna take another beating. I don't give a damn how many times they try to change the way people look at their state. I guess our state, since I don't move to Alabama. I don't care how many times they try to change how people see how Alabama is. They're gonna think about the history. CJ. Y'all know I'm doing a video. Eh, So Alabama. But I never seen the FBI solve a problem so fast. The FBI, they found proof that it took place. It was in the garage in 2019, within like a day. Might have been less than 24 hours. That was some fast work by the FBI, man. That's fast work. They came in there, said, "Oh, this is for 2019." It's a news, but it ain't for Bubba. Now, who the news were for then, people? Explain that to Bubba. Explain that to NASCAR fans like myself. Yes, I'm a NASCAR fan. I like Jeff Gordon before he retired. I also like Jimmy Johnson. I'm coming to like Bubba. Coming to like Bubba. Because it's a shame that I'm becoming a fan of Bubba like this. But man, yeah, you can't. It's hard for me to believe that the only black driver in NASCAR and the news happened to be in his garage. That's hard to believe. You know, I'm not a conspiracy person all the time. I'm a conspiracy person, but not all the time. But is that doing coincidence is like crazy coincidence right there for real. That coincidence is like, nah, they're hard to believe right there. Speaking of some racist stuff taking place right now, down in Glen Heights, Texas, they just started protesting this place that changed oil and do inspection because the owner of the place got mad at a black man because he threw a paper towel in the toilet. He said he apologized to him. He said the black man called him the N-word, called his mama the N-word, and told him to get him fellatios and go back to Africa. It's taking place right now. They asked people to come out at 12 or 11:30 local time, Central Time. But the people who are already out there, they're protesting already. I'm going to try to do a live update. I'm about to go ahead and end this video. I was watching it for like 15, 20 minutes before I start on this video. And I'm going to see if any more other people have joined. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Thank you for watching the video. If you haven't subscribed, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and hit the share button. Until in a few minutes, I'll see you in a little bit.